What's up guys, and welcome to Hari's Hobbies, the channel where we delve into newest tech news and discuss the newest tech products. So today we're taking a look at why AMD is actually forcing Intel to bring 8 cores and 16 threads onto the mainstream market. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already to be updated with the newest tech news related to gaming and PCs. So, how is AMD forcing Intel? Well, if you guys haven't already heard about the news, Ryzen 2 is actually coming out very soon. And these are just leaks, so make sure to keep that in mind, but these leaks are very promising. For example, the Ryzen 2 2700X is supposedly going to bring 8 cores and 16 threads at 3.7 base frequency GHz and 4.35 GHz max frequency at, wait for it, only $370. Now that's still a lot of money, but compared to the 1800X, which was less powerful, which came in at $500, and now the 8700K, which has 2 less cores and 4 less threads, and actually less of a max frequency at 4.3 GHz, but that's $10 more at $380. So as you can see, AMD is bringing absolutely spectacular value with their new 2700X. Now, I do realize that Intel has much better overclocking headroom than AMD. For example, going back to the 8700K, the 8700K is easily able to overclock to 5 GHz. Like for example, I have all my cores right here behind me overclocked to 5 GHz. But you'd probably have to get lucky just to simply be able to overclock all of the 2700X's cores to 4.35 GHz. As a result, the Ryzen CPUs can't be stretched as much, but you do have to admit that AMD is still bringing great value. Furthermore, AMD is actually including their Wraith Spire Prism coolers in their 2700Xs. In fact, they're actually bringing in their great stock coolers for all their CPUs, not just the non-X ones. Even on the X ones, they have CPU coolers. As opposed to 8700K, which doesn't even have their Intel stock crappy cooler. Once again, as you can see, AMD is absolutely dominating the value for the dollar. Well, what AMD is bringing out is great value and everything, but how exactly is that forcing Intel to respond? Well, obviously Intel has been losing a lot of market share, and in my opinion, if they continue to not give us 8 cores, 16 threads with much better performance and value like AMD is, then they're gonna keep losing that market share exponentially. AMD literally has a octa-core processor which is cheaper than their hexa-core processor. So obviously there's a problem that Intel has to deal with. Not to mention it has more PCIe lanes and a stock cooler with it. As a result, I believe that Intel is already planning a octa-core processor, and that's probably what Z390 is all about. It's probably just a Coffee Lake refresh in the 14nm process, but it'll have 8 cores and 16 threads similar to Ryzen. And hopefully this CPU is just like all of Intel's other CPUs with its crazy high overclocking headroom. So these crazy high core count CPUs are coming out very soon, but does that mean you should buy them? Well, honestly, you shouldn't, because that type of performance is really not necessary. And if you're building a PC just for gaming, then you have to remember that more core counts doesn't actually help gaming. Nowadays, the main bottleneck is GPUs, and we all know what's happening with GPUs right now. So as a result, more cores isn't actually gonna help you. So does that mean this whole like crazy value and things aren't gonna help you at all? Well, just because this crazy new value isn't gonna affect you directly doesn't mean that it's not gonna help you at all. For example, if the 9700K comes out to be a 8-core 16-thread processor, then at least after a few generations, the i5 and i3 will definitely be upgraded. For example, the i5 could go to be a hexa-core with 12 threads, or even an octa-core with no hyper-threading. Both of those will be much superior option to what we have right now. Plus, the i5s and i3s are much cheaper than the i7s. For example, the i5 is usually $100 cheaper than the i7, so you're basically getting a current generation 8700K for $100 cheaper if that's what Intel plans to do with the 9600K. So as you can see, AMD is bringing better value for everyone. As always, competition is always good for the consumer. I also believe AMD will make Intel do other things. For example, I think Intel will be more lenient with their motherboard chipset lifespans because AMD obviously is killing it there too with 4+ years, while Intel, like last generation, they only had 1 year. I also think that Intel will be forced to bring in more PCIe lanes and offer hyper-threading for their lower level CPUs as well. Hopefully, Intel will also bring the ability to overclock all their CPUs and of course, better stock coolers. Overall, as you guys can already see, AMD is absolutely dominating the market right now with their crazy value, and they're even beating their value with their new CPUs. So AMD is really showing what's possible. And so Intel has to at least match the competition if they want to be able to survive. Because if they don't even match the competition, then why would people buy their CPUs? As a result, I think Intel is being forced by AMD to bring out 8 cores and 16 threads onto the mainstream platform. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys this time. Make sure to post in the comments down below what you guys are thinking about this. For example, are you ecstatic that AMD is bringing all this competition and lowered prices and better performance? And do you think AMD is making Intel sweat? Or do you think Intel is always prepared and they're just a bit lazy and didn't think they had to release it, but now that the time has come, they'll release it and once again dominate the market very soon? Make sure to post what you guys are thinking because I do read all my comments and I'm curious as to what you guys think. Also, if you guys like this video, then make sure to drop a like on it and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification if you want to see more videos just like this. But until next time, bye.